All right, guys, I'm here with Professor Proctor. He is a senior lecturer in the history department, and we are going to interview him today. All right, Professor Proctor, give me a quick introduction of yourself, your research.
David Proctor. I'm a teaching professor in the Department of History with cross appointments in classical studies, archaeology, international relations, and medieval studies. My research has focused largely on the relationship between the papacy and the German and then Holy Roman Empire, as well as in the last probably 10 years, diverging much more towards the Byzantines and particularly women's roles in Byzantium.
Gotcha. What is one common misconception that students have about the Middle Ages?
I'd say that, one of the common misconceptions, and I was just talking about this in one of my courses Tuesday, this notion that the Middle Ages was somehow kind of a dark period, that there wasn't a lot of interesting or intellectual things happening, there wasn't a lot of art or literature, that it was just kind of a darker period in European history where kind of the glories of Rome had faded and the glories that would come with the Renaissance had yet to evolve. But that's not really the case. There's a lot of fascinating aspects about the culture, the literature, the art, and also the intellectual kind of investigations that are going on in the Middle Ages that people don't always, I think, focus enough on.
Agreed. As a triple jumbo, how has Tufts shaped your journey from a student to now a professor?
I'd say that the biggest thing probably has been the faculty that I worked with. I learned from all of them and several key ones in particular that, taught me what it was to kind of be a scholar, what it was to be a teacher, what it was to be a mentor. I'd say their influence really shaped the kind of faculty member that I became. A movie that is a really good representation of kind of the personalities that the medieval world is. A Lion in Winter, which is about Henry II, Eleanor of Aquitaine. Really, the whole kind of setup of the movie is a fabrication, but the characterizations of Philip of France, of Henry and Eleanor are actually pretty effective and pretty spot on, and I think shows some of the violence and also the anxiety of the age.
Thank you, Professor Proctor.
Yeah, my pleasure.